Hey everybody, this is Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. This is a special episode. You know that at the Glassbone Open, or maybe you don't know, but now you will. We have a PDGA Pro Panel. That's where we pick about 5 to 6 people, top pros, come out, and people will submit questions via the glassboneopen.com website, and then they'll answer them during the opening ceremony. Well, what I like to do for you guys, and I've done in years past, is I grab that video and I just pull the audio out of it and allow you guys to kind of just listen to the audio. So without any more explanation, I'll just let that play. Here is the 2018 GBO Pro Panel.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for being here tonight. We've got the PDGA Pro Panel right now, so we're gonna go ahead and get started if you guys want to find your seats. My name is Robert McCall. I'll be directing the questions to our pros this evening, and I feel like you probably know who most of them are, but just in case you don't, we'll start on the far left over there with 4-time world champion Paul Macbeth. Give it up for him, please. Three-time world champion Nate Doss right there. No time as of yet, but really long thrower and extremely nice person, Simon Lazat. We've got our current USDGC champion, Nate Sexton. Two-time and current world champion, Ricky Wysocki. And last but not least, 4-time world champion, Paige Pierce. All right. Yes, thank you to the PDGA for putting this together and for having these pros up here. I know that, I'm excited to hear some of the answers to the questions that you guys have submitted. I've pulled quite a few questions from the Google form that we put onto Facebook, but if we get to the end and we have a little bit of time, we'll have some live questions as well. So we'll start off with everybody answering this one just in a few sentences. This person wanted to know, where do you think we'll see disc golf in 10 years as a sport? Do you think we'll see more people be able to be full-time professional disc golfers? And if so, what will it take for us to grow to that level? So I'd like everybody to answer that just in whatever order you'd like to. Go for it.
All right. I don't see any huge revolutionary sweeping change in the next 10 years. I think we're on that path. We're growing now. I think we'll have more players, more professionals, bigger tournaments, but I don't think it's going to be like overnight, wow, the sport is just totally different on ESPN every day now. It's going to be just constant good growth like we're experiencing now.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think I'll kind of expand from Nate, but I think for, me being in the spot I am right now, I think it kind of, just looking at the big picture, it seems like there's a lot more opportunity for players nowadays in our generation as opposed to maybe 10 years ago. And so I think that's going to continue to happen in the next 10 years, where there's going to be even more opportunity for the next generation of people that are in our shoes right now, having a lot more opportunities within the sport, and even when they're done with their career, and all the stuff and opportunities they open based on their career and their stats.
Awesome. Thanks, Rick.
I think exactly what these guys said, but I think what's going to grow it the most is the media crews. I mean, you guys see Bobby Brown every single day posting videos galore. Anthony, Stu's here. Like, look at all these cameras. I mean, just keep clicking and give us more and more views, and the sport's bound to go leaps and bounds. And so thanks to the media crews, really.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think this year is really going to be a little bit different. We have the Pro Worlds, we got the Amateur Worlds, and we got the Junior Worlds here in Emporia. So I think this year is going to be a little bit different. I think it'll be kind of going in that direction of growing, and we'll really see a big change this year and how it goes. And I look forward to it and seeing where it is in 10 years, just as much as everyone else here.
Yeah, definitely. I've been around the game since 1993 when I was a young boy, and I think we asked ourselves that question a lot. What do we think this game's going to be in 10 years? And most of the time we thought we knew, and I'll tell you from experience, it never is exactly what we anticipate. So I'm just happy where the game is right now. I want to see more courses, more players, more people. The professional side of the game is going to take some time, but there's still great young players that are going to come up and have an opportunity to play professionally and live out their dream. But for the most part, just keep telling your friends to play. Let's keep getting the game bigger, and 10 years will take care of itself.
Yeah, basically everything has been said. I'm just really excited to see what's happening in Europe. Watching the growth in Finland and Scandinavia in general, just Finland has over 600 courses now, and they have built those like in the last 6 or 7 years. So the potential that is out there, the number of kids that are playing is crazy. Like the age will just drop so drastically for the top players in the future. And yeah, looking at 10 years ago and today, I think this sport is not slowing down.
All right, thank you guys. And then we've got some questions that are just directed at one person in particular. Now I'm gonna ask this question to Ricky, but that doesn't mean that anyone thinks the rest of you aren't great putters, okay? But this person asked Ricky in particular, how do you become a great putter? Is it your disc? Is it your style? Is it consistency? What goes into becoming a great putter?
Yeah, for me, it was finding a style that I felt comfortable with and I felt that was most effective. And so it basically took me a couple of years to find a style. I didn't just find my style right away. It took me a few. I used to be a line drive putter, as some people know. My first couple of years on playing, not just professional but in general, I just had a super like a throw putt almost. So then I just kind of I took a couple blow bys the basket and coming back, and it was just like that's not really going to work out in the long run. So I kind of that was my first style. Then my second style was more of a lob putt. And it took me a while to perfect it. I was throw it too high sometimes when I'm practicing too low, and it just getting the nose angle in the release and locking in wrist control is being able to consistently get that wrist control at the angle you want the whole time. So yeah, I mean it's just a lot of different variables, but all in all, it's finding the putt that you think that you can be most consistent with, and practicing that style and perfecting it to the best of your ability.
Nice. Thank you, Rick. Just to give us a gauge, how long, like, say, regular week, how long are you practicing putting a day? Just so we have an idea.
Yeah. So for me, when I'm when it's not raining and pouring, I'm practicing 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, I'll go out and practice at the course for 30 minutes, then I'll go chill out and do another 20-30 minutes after that. So it's break it up a little bit, but overall throughout the day about an hour.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick. All right, so this is for everybody. And this person wanted to know, have you ever played in a junior world championship? If you have, how did you finish? And then do you have any advice for parents who have kids that might want to play disc golf competitively in the future? So if you have played junior worlds, yeah, go for it.
All right, I'll go for it. So yeah, I've played in junior worlds. I played in Ohio in 2010. It's a great experience. I mean, I know being a junior player, it's hard to find players that are in your age bracket and age group. So, for the parents, like you said, just getting them out there and, having them feel what it feels like to play with people their age. I know when I was growing up, I was always playing with older people, which is fine, but it's cool to be able to gauge your skill set and be able to relate to all the players that are within your age group. So I think it's really cool, and it's great atmosphere that you have to, if you want your kids to really get the full experience of disc golf within their age group, to get them out there and playing with kids their age.
Awesome. I love it. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I have a pretty interesting junior world story. It was my first tournament ever in 2005, and it happened to be the junior world championship and world championships, I should say. And I was playing 16 and under, and I didn't have a rating at the time, so I was kind of put with two other girls, and one of the girls happens to be Nate's wife. So I got to play with Bree Sexton, and then later in the tournament, I got to play with some people that I'm still competing with today, like Paul Ulibarri, James Conrad, Devin Owens, and I got a mini signed by the current world champion, who was in 2005, Nate Doss. So I think it's a really great experience to go. And for my first tournament, it was kind of mind blowing seeing all the people that I met there are still the people I'm playing with today, and people that I looked up to back then. So it's an incredible experience, and you just get to meet so many kids that you'll probably know for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I played the Junior World Championships in 1998 and 1999. The first one in 1998, Steady Ed Hedrick was my sponsor and actually took me to that tournament. So very lucky there. That was just a very fortunate thing that I grew up in an area where he was and my family was connected with him. But in 1998, I did win the Junior World Championship in Kansas City, Missouri. It was a great experience. And to answer the second part of your question, I think was what advice for parents? Or really the juniors are the most important aspect of the future of disc golf. And I think each and every one of us that's in here that's not a junior should be trying to get kids to play this game. And it's incredibly good for young people of all types of bodies, skills. They don't have to necessarily be athletic. Athletics, being athletic helps, but if you're a parent and you have a kid, hopefully they're playing. If not, they should be, and get their friends out playing. If not anything, I think probably most people on this panel played more than one sport. I know Paul played baseball. I know a few others played other things, but it's if anything, it's just something that your kid can do to help them mature, learn how to be respectful to other players, other competitors. Just obvious stuff there, I guess.
I've never played a Junior Worlds, so I can't answer specifically to that, but I've played Junior European Championships and multiple German Championships. And for the parents, it's just really important to realize that 1 week or one tournament in a kid's life can start the fire, start the passion of maybe for the rest of their lives. I'm sitting here now, disc golf is my job. And without my parents, obviously this would have never happened. So yeah, it's quite special.
Awesome. Go ahead.
All right. I played the Junior Worlds in 2003. I crushed it. I won big.
Dang.
It was in London, Ontario, Canada. It was, I think, the only other
Canada.
I think it's now that Emporia is going to have some standalone Junior Worlds, but that was a standalone Junior Worlds. It was the game's come a long way because I think there was probably only 30 kids there, maybe. I don't know. So it felt pretty small, but it was really fun. I went with my dad. We flew to Detroit, drove up to Canada. We camped out for the tournament, so from my perspective now as an adult and a professional player, that was so fun. So as a parent now myself, I hope that I can kind of recreate some of that with my daughter eventually, where we're going out and making kind of a trip of it and having that whole experience of playing and my dad caddying for me. It was great. So I would say definitely give it a try if you haven't yet.
I never played a Junior Worlds. I played a lot of Am Worlds, but no juniors. But I've been to the past 4 Junior Worlds or Am Worlds with juniors included. Walking with the juniors, and it's something that I think this is kind of towards the second question, but I think for the parents just to see your kids kind of interacting with the other competitors, and just for me personally. I'm not a parent, but it's cool to just see and you learn. I'm learning from these kids camaraderie and they're sitting there giving each other a hug after a bad shot, and there's just so much to learn there. And with your young mind, you can still develop so much professionalism. And so like everybody said, I mean, it's just like Simon was saying, you don't know when that passion's going to happen. And very similar to Simon's answer, if my dad didn't take me out, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I don't think I'll ever stop having disc golf in my life. So if you see that passion, take them to a tournament, have some one-on-one time with your kid and watch them mature into, who they're going to become.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And as Nate alluded to, we do have standalone Junior Worlds in Emporia this summer. And so if you have a junior who is, a child of yours or somebody that encourage them to come out for that. We're going to have a lot of pro players here. We're going to have great competition here. And like I said, that's just a great way to see who your child is going to be and to teach them some character and allow them to succeed and allow them to fail. And so definitely come and check that out, please, this summer. All right, Paige, this one's for you. This person wants to know, what's your pre-round routine and what are you thinking about when you're getting ready for a tournament?
Getting ready. I'm just trying to know all the holes. Mostly, we play a lot of the same tournaments, so it's more just familiarizing myself with the landing zones or the distances, and kind of developing a game plan for each given hole. I think mine's a little bit different than all of them because in the FPO division, we're not always going for the birdie. We could dissect the hole and play it smarter. Not that you guys aren't playing smart. I didn't mean
Y'all play it dumb.
I didn't mean that. I just mean we're not always trying to attack. I watch lots of these guys play after my rounds, and they're just throwing out of the woods, and we are just laying up. So that's what I meant by that. Sorry. But so we're trying to dissect the holes, and so I think my practice, that's what I'm looking for, like those holes that I can't attack. Where am I going to lay up to? And then for pre-round, I think I try to get like about 20 minutes of putting at least, and then another 10 of straddle putting. And then just trying to go in the field and throwing the angles that I'm throwing on that course. So if I know hole one's a felon shot, I'm trying to reenact that visually and all throughout all 18 holes.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So this can be realistic for you or not. That's what the person phrased the question as. But they said, if you could be a professional athlete, cool slip, a professional athlete in another sport, realistic or not for you, what sport would that be? So you could be good at that sport. You might not be good at that sport. That's fine. But just choose another professional sport for you that you could be a professional athlete at, that you would enjoy being a professional athlete in.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would have to say professional ball golf. It's like a lifetime thing, and the courses are just beautiful. It just seems like you're always outside and having a good time. You're always in the right part of the country where the weather's always pretty good. So professional golf would be it for me. Plus, I get to use the skills I have from disc golf in that too. So I like that one.
I love it. Awesome.
Like Nate said earlier, I played baseball growing up since I was basically in a crib. So I was throwing things since I was little, and I think it would just be really, really cool to be playing baseball and just seeing all the stadiums and all the people and all the cameras and all that stuff, which fortunately, as disc golf grows, I get to experience that a little bit more every day. So baseball would have been the sport that I would have loved to play a little bit longer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mine has to be like Nate. It's got to be golf. It's like he said, there's so many things that translate over from our sport to their sport, with the mental side and even the physical side. It's just like you said, it's a lifetime sport. It's fun to watch. I play it and I really appreciate how hard it really is to play. So I think that it would be, just to be professional at something that's, the game is almost impossible. Just like anything, it's impossible to master. But so it's really cool sport. The camaraderie is really good, and there's everyone seems to have a really tight knit community, and it seems like a fun time.
I'd probably be on the Portland Trailblazers, and they wouldn't have got swept out of the first round.
They could have used your help for sure.
Yeah. I would have tried to get them through that second round.
Probably rock climbing. Ooh. I just think it's like a fun puzzle, and it's you're using your body a lot, and yeah, I love it. But I would never do anything besides disc golf.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just for funsies, like, come on. Simon, what do you think?
I think any sport that's not a team sport, just because I always hated, like, losing because of the other people's failure.
Refreshing candor. I like it. That's awesome. Nate Sexton, this question is for you. Okay. This person said, tell us 3 reasons your USDGC title is better than Big Germ. Oh, no, it didn't say that. Sorry, Big Germ. Anyway, this person actually said, after many years touring and seeing the world, now that you're on the road full time with your wife and with Coraline, what life lesson would you teach her if you just had to pick one right this second?
To Coraline?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully she's right over there. So
listen up.
Listen up. It's tough, man, to do it in one sentence. But I think the thing that I hope that all this traveling is teaching her, I guess I can attack the question that way, is just to be flexible and happy meeting all these people. And as our routine changes, it's not the same as it would be for most babies that are just sleeping at the same place every night. We're in the RV. And I'd like to think that, she's a very happy baby. And I'd like to think that in her life, she'll feel less anxiety and be more confident because of this experience of just being in all these places and getting to wave hi to thousands of people as we travel the country.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I'm not going to agree with the first part of this question, but this is how the person phrased it. They said the next generation of disc golfers will be more athletic and following your footsteps. So I guess they don't think you guys are athletic. We'll see. But their question is, how much emphasis do you put on eating habits, conditioning, non-disc golf training to kind of, keep everything maintained for you guys so that you're healthy and able to compete for longer periods of time? That's for anybody.
Yeah, I think not just athletes, but people in general. I mean, of course, we're, not more important, but there's, our diet, it determines, our body. So, I mean, if you're eating a lot of sugary junk foods, I mean, you're not gonna feel as good, and your body's not gonna react as it would if you were eating a lot of healthy. I mean, I think plant-based foods is a really popular thing for me. I try to, I don't always do it, but I'm at least, I'm cautious, and I try to minimize all the foods that are, not so good. So, I think just being aware of all the foods that you can eat on the road and you can eat. And I think Disc Golf Strong has told me that, you can eat certain things in moderation. Just, if you're going to McDonald's, you can, obviously I don't go to McDonald's, but that often. But like just eating like the bread, instead of eating all the breading and all the other stuff, eat the chicken and not just, certain things like that instead of eating, getting the full experience from McDonald's, so to say.
So thank you. Who else?
Yeah. I think, for me, I've been on a diet, and I don't know if it's so much motivated by disc golf as just general health for me, but I know that they go hand in hand. So I feel like I want to be healthier, and I want to, do some training in the off season, certainly, but I don't want people to get the impression that I'm just like out there lifting weights every day. And, I'm trying to be healthy in general and be in as good of shape as I can be in without, going crazy, I guess.
Excellent.
I kind of heard the question.
Okay. They were just saying, I'll tell it to you word for word. How much emphasis do you put on eating habits? Eating habits, conditioning, and non-disc golf training.
Okay. Yeah, eating's definitely the hardest part. Being on the road all the time, and you're traveling from airports, hotels. Even if you have an RV, you're limited with a small fridge, if that. So, eating's the hardest part, but it's really one of the most important ones. So I try to, like Rick said, try to stay away from McDonald's and the fast food and all that stuff. But I know when I first started disc golf, as far as conditioning, like the courses were a lot smaller. We were playing par 54, par 56, and those were the big courses. And nowadays we're on courses like Country Club, where it's par 64 or 65, somewhere around there. So conditioning has really picked up as the sport has grown, as the courses have grown. So that's what that's something I look forward to in the off season is physically training and kind of pushing myself to get better in that aspect, because that's hard to maintain for 6 to 9 months out of the year while you're touring. You don't have the gyms like you do at home and stuff like that. So it's become a big part of my life and my career, and hopefully I can continue that after the sport.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would definitely say a craft beer a day keeps the doctor away. So, only if you're of age. So just keep that in mind. Any juniors in here? No, seriously. I think what you're going to hear from most people is that, the way you eat and the way you take care of your body is important. It really is. But one thing that I can tell you is go and find yourself somebody that you can get advice from, somebody that you trust. I mean, LeBron James doesn't even tell himself what to do for training. He has somebody that tells him exactly what to do, somebody that knows what they're talking about. And I mean, I got to tell you, I just, I have a shoulder injury. I'm dealing with it. It's something that I'll come back from. But this process has really showed me that what I was doing was just not enough, because I didn't know anything. I was just doing what I thought I was supposed to do, doing push-ups or doing this or, doing a workout routine. It's like Seth from Disc Golf Strong, as Ricky said, came into my life and offered me an opportunity to give me advice, to give me information, and it was huge. Now, I'm not saying you have to have Seth or him specifically or anybody, but I think it's just a really great opportunity to find somebody and get some help, because if you're not doing something for your body, it's definitely going to break down. I thought that I was invincible. I thought I would never get hurt. And what did I have to do 2 months ago? I had to pull out of a tournament that I wanted to be in and I wanted to win. So take care of your body. Your body is the most important thing. Feed it what it needs. Take care of it, work it out, and you'll be successful, not just in disc golf, but in life, because you're going to be, 80 years old and be good to go. So don't ever forget about your body.
That was good. Yeah, I've learned all about that stuff, and I know how important and good nutrition is, but I don't care.
Simon Lazat, ladies and gentlemen. Anything to add? Yeah, no, go ahead.
So for me, I think as far as eating, I just try with every bone in my body not to eat fast food. Somebody actually asked me, well, with your new van, how are you going to get through drive-thrus? And I just laughed and was like, I don't do drive-thrus. What are you talking about? We actually stopped in Wichita on the way here because Emporia has no health food stores. And yeah, so keep healthy, everybody. And as far as what was the second? Conditioning and
conditioning and non-disc golf training.
I think as far as the non-disc golf and conditioning, everything I'm doing is somehow helping my body. I feel like I'm always active and competing in something, no matter what it is. Just staying active and keeping your body going. Just don't get really content. And yeah, that's about it, I think.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, you kind of touched on this, Nate, but this one's coming back to you, Nate Doss. This one, somebody said, what recovery tips would you give to someone who's coming off of an injury? Because we said, that's something that you're struggling with right now.
Well, the first recovery tip is to admit that you have an injury, right? Honestly, I'm going to tell you the story real quickly because I got a big group of people here that all play disc golf. I injured myself back at the USDGC in October, and for over 4 months, I hid the fact that I was injured, right? So Val would say, oh, what's up with your shoulder? It kind of hurts. It's okay. Take time off. Don't do anything. Come back, play. It hurts again. Don't tell anybody about it. The first step to recovery was admitting that I was injured, not only to myself, but to the closest people in my life. Right? It's not a weakness to get hurt. It's not the fact that my shoulder is hurt doesn't show that I'm weak to any of my competitors or any of the people that know me. It's actually a strength to admit that you're injured. What you need to make sure to take care of your body, because maybe in the short term you don't want to quit the tournament, but what about the next tournament? What about the next tournament? So step number 1, admit that you have an injury. Step number 2 is, again, find somebody that you trust. Whether you go to your doctor and he sends you to a physical therapist, or you go find somebody, or you talk to Seth, or you talk to this person, you talk to that person. Find somebody that you can trust, that when you're going through your recovery and something happens, you can tell them. You can be open and honest with them. Wow, I was feeling really good, but a day ago my shoulder started blowing up and it really hurts. You need to voice all that stuff. Don't hide it. Injuries are not something that you should be afraid of. They happen to even the best players in the world. Everybody on this table has been injured, okay? And we take care of our bodies. We're the best players. So that's kind of the gist of it. But just, again, find somebody you trust and don't overdo it. Don't rush it. I'm here to play the tournament. If my shoulder's not ready, I'm not going to, I'll step out of the tournament again. But yeah, so there you go.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. Hey guys, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for coming to be a part of the PDGA Pro Panel. If you are walking in the doors, sound carries a lot, and so it's really hard to hear if there's a lot of noise back there. So if you guys could make sure that everyone's quiet on the way in, that'd be great. Thanks. All right. This one's for you, Mr. Macbeth, and this, they phrase the question like this. How does your mental game change from the tee box to the green? Do you have different thoughts, or do you focus on different things while you're putting or driving?
This is one of my favorite questions. I mean, to be honest, my mental thoughts are just like a lot of these people's out here. It can be, I can walk up to if I'm putting for birdie, I can walk up and just be thinking, wow, there's a lot of people watching this. If I miss it, that'd be pretty embarrassing right now, you know? So those thoughts go through my head, you know, just like anyone here. So it's really just shutting the mind off when you have, you know, these shots. You kind of walk up, assess the shot, and kind of see what you need to do, and then just shutting your mind off. And whether, you know, that it's a saying in your head or a song or just some advice that a friend's given you, it's just, you know, having as little possible, you know, things going through your head. That's really what I try to do, and it's difficult. It's hard. You know, you see people get mad. You see people, you know, freak out on the course, and some people are really calm because they can find that zone while they're playing. So just kind of find something that works for you, and just keep it simple, and just don't think. That's my advice for that question.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, this is for everybody, and I guess you could kind of go into this with a long-winded answer, but sentence or two I think is really good. So they asked, when you're leading a tournament, whether you're leading by a stroke or a few, does your game plan change in any way? Are you more risky? Are you more willing to go for a risky drive, or do you just stick to the game plan no matter what?
I'll start. Well, so it was if you're leading.
Yeah, if you're leading, do you change it up?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, the fact that you're leading the tournament shouldn't change a single thing. You should have prepared to play the course the way that you can play the course, right? You should go out. That's why we play practice rounds. We're not just playing practice rounds because we like to throw and we want to get some. Of course we do. We're playing practice rounds so we can figure out what we can do. You know, I would never attempt a layup on a hole if I've never even practiced it. I would go and play my game plan. I'm going to lose by playing my game plan, but I'm also going to try to win by playing my game plan. So I think it starts the moment you step on the course, whether it's a day before the tournament, a week before the tournament, whatever it is, find your game plan, stick to it, and it doesn't matter if you're 10 strokes ahead, 2 strokes ahead. Of course, on the last hole, you know, if you've got a 50-foot putt and a hill behind it and you're up by 1, you lay it up, of course, but I'm talking about off the tee. Know what you're going to do off the tee. So that's kind of a little bit of my advice.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, just like Nate said, he was talking about, you know, when we're going out there practicing, we're going out there to practice so that way if we get in a situation where we need to throw a different shot, we're throwing, you know, maybe 2 or 3 different shots on a hole. For me, it's at least I'm throwing a shot where, you know, I can be really aggressive, and I'm throwing a shot where I can feel comfortable if I need to lay up in a certain scenario, if there's wind or if there's a variable that doesn't really allow me to be aggressive. So I think when I'm practicing all the different shots. I'm practicing like I was up, whether I was up by 10 or if I was tied for the lead. So I think that's for me is the most important, because then I feel comfortable no matter what the situation is. If I'm down by 2 and I need to be really aggressive, I've practiced that shot. Or if I'm up by couple strokes and I want to play a little bit safer and not have to win by 4 or 5 strokes, maybe just play to win by 1 or 2. So that's the kind of things that I go out there to practice, is being comfortable in any situation, because I've practiced all the different shots. I've practiced the safe shot and I've practiced the hyper aggressive shot. So just going out there and feeling comfortable, that translates over into the tournament when you may have put yourself in position to be, you know, near the lead.
Cool.
Yeah, Nate, you said that you practice to figure out what you can do. I practice to figure out what I can't do. No, not good. Okay. Either way, but yeah, the more you get in the position of actually leading tournaments, the less you will notice your mind or your game changing. So, as Nate said, the way to do it is, try to stick to your game plan and just relax?
I would say that I would not consider changing my game plan until I was up by more strokes than there are holes left in the tournament. So if I have a 5-stroke lead with 4 to go, then maybe I'm going to make some different strategy decisions. But in general, the people at this table are way too good at disc golf for me to be able to just sit back and go, oh, up by 3, 9 holes to go. I don't have to try anymore because they'll beat me in a second if I take my foot off the gas.
Can I give a quick example? Now, everybody in this room knows Johnny McRae, right? Give it up for Johnny. I don't know if he's in here right now, but Johnny, he played out this situation in front of the disc golfing world at the USDGC. And it was probably one of the hardest things for us as fans to watch, and I can't even imagine what it was to him. But on 17 at the USDGC, he practiced going for the basket. He never even practiced laying up. He didn't even know what to do, to lay up and then try to throw an upshot down there. He stuck with his game plan, and while it was really difficult to watch, I respect him for doing that, And I just wanted to throw that out there as an example. For example, on that hole, I practice laying up, and I do play it on a layup. So just wanted to throw that out there as a real-world example.
Awesome. Anybody else? You don't have to if you don't want to, but you're welcome to.
I think mine's closer to Ricky's, but for the most part, I feel as though I'm an aggressive player. So during practice rounds, I'm always looking for Simon routes or big shots. But there are certain holes where I'm not capable of those shots. So I'm looking at also layups. But even on those set aggressive shots, maybe it's over the top and the wind's up high that day. So I'm also, like Ricky said, you're thinking about all the different plays for that hole so that you have multiple different tools in your belt, with that being said, I think I don't really change my game plan until probably 4 to 6 holes left in the round. If I'm up, I'll just kind of coast. But for the most part, I'm not necessarily looking to win a tournament. I'm looking to improve as a player. So I don't ever back down, even if I'm up by 10. I'm still trying to make an 80-footer on hole 18.
I think Nate said it best. When we're out there practicing, we're kind of going over these scenarios in case we are in that position where we're leading by 1 or 2 going into the final 3 or 4 holes. So these are moments that we practice and prepare for, and hopefully, when that point comes, we're up by a little bit more than that, so it's a little easier to stick to the game plan. But you have to practice these moments before you get to them. So again, you can shut your mind off in those situations and just play.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, this question in particular is for Simon. Once again, I did not write this question, and I don't know if everybody's wondering this, but this is what they said. This person said, Simon, are you single and into disc golf chicks? The world, or at least this one person, wants to know.
Oh.
There's a follow-up question that's unrelated, so go ahead.
No comment.
Well, I'm not single.
Oh.
That's a good way to cover it. That's good.
Yeah. Everything else doesn't matter after that.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent answer. Well played. But here's a real question. That was a real question, by the way, but here's like a disc golf question. So this person asked, what are some crucial skills to learn if you want to throw farther? Some crucial skills to learn.
Dude, that's a really tough question to answer because everyone's so different, but the main mistake that people make when they start playing is that they try to learn how to play disc golf before they learn how to throw. And you don't learn how to throw with a destroyer or any high-speed driver. It just completely ruins all kind of finesse or touch that you can put on a disc, like putters or even ultimate frisbee is so good. If you can throw a frisbee well, throwing a disc is going to be very easy. And distance is not about strength at all. It's about timing and technique. So you really want to focus on correct form, and trying too hard is one of the biggest mistakes I see out there, because distance should be effortless. And that might sound like easy, but if you just focus on timing and speed and not on power, then I think it can be a lot easier. That make sense?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to open it for questions to the audience after this question. So if you have a question that you've been wanting to ask the pro panel, prepare it in your mind. Don't try and be a wise guy and be super funny so we all laugh. Just good questions, or we will laugh at you. Anyway, this is what I think. I think this is my favorite question that was asked of you guys. And I'd like everybody to answer, please. The question is, what character trait would you attribute to giving you the edge when you won your most prestigious championships? So what about you do you think was the most important thing when you won your most prestigious championships?
Confidence.
All right.
Confidence. No, just kidding. No, I think that for me, it's my mental focus and the ability to have tunnel vision and ability to be selfish. I mean, I think that's, anytime we win a tournament, that's what we're doing. We're being selfish and focusing on ourselves in that moment. If you're focused on what this guy or that guy's doing in your group, or what so to say someone's shooting in the second, third group, then you're taken away from your mental capacity and ability to focus. So I think for me, it's just the fact to block everyone out, players, spectators, no matter birds flying, and just focus on one thing, and that's it. And I think that's where I strive and play my best.
For me, I think it's a lot of the same answers, because golf is everyone winning a big tournament is feeling a lot of the same things, I think, as it's happening. But I think being able to stay focused and being able to be determined and being able to play within myself and just kind of play to my own strengths.
Okay. Luck.
That's perfect. Wow, I don't even know what to say now. That's what I was going to say. But at least I got my question answered if you were single or not, so that's good. That one came from me. Anyways, I think for me it was that it was just when I was playing my best. Whenever I'm playing my best, I'm having fun at what I'm doing. Like, I love playing disc golf, and I love doing a lot of other things, but specifically with disc golf, like, there's days where I love what I'm doing, but I'm just not having fun, and there's other days where I love what I'm doing, and I'm having a blast, and that's usually when I'm playing my best. So find your happy place, I think, is what I would say.
I just want to go with what Paige said, and confidence. When I won my first national tour at the Memorial in 2011, I was young. I hadn't been playing for too long, but I was confident in my ability to play and just my game. And I didn't really know what I was doing out there and who I was competing with or playing against. I wanted to go out there and win. And that was my goal, is to go out there and win. Whether it was against Doss, who was on top at the time, and I was just confident enough to go out there and play and trust myself and just try to do the best I can. And confidence is the word that I would use.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, we have a couple of minutes left, so we've got some time for some questions from the crowd. I'm going to start right here with you, sir. Speak loudly, please. If you were going to send an AM player to one course, what course would it be?
Are they supposed to have fun? Whistler's Bend.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say Milo MacGyver in Oregon as well. Milo.
Sweet.
Yeah, Oregon.
What did you say?
Oregon.
Anywhere in Oregon.
I think for Smuggler's Notch, I think those are my favorite courses, really. And so I think, Smuggler's Notch, Vermont.
Maple Hill.
That's what I was going to say, Maple Hill.
Okay, then I'll say Nantucket. Yeah, Nantucket.
Sorry, I was going to say Maple Hill because they got like 4 courses in one, so you can try them all.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yes. The question is, who's had the most influence on your disc golf career?
I think that for me, it's there's not one person that comes to mind. It's more of just, I'm sure it's different for everyone, but for me, it's just a couple of different people. I've had a weird experience. I think it's almost the opposite of most people, but my dad, when I decided to take this career path I did, he actually wasn't supportive, and I was motivated to change that and succeed in disc golf because he wasn't supportive at the time. So it's a weird way of putting it, but he's probably my biggest supporter now that I've gained his support. But at first I was just trying to go out there and make it as a professional disc golfer and show him that it could be done. So I think that's my experience.
I think mine's very similar to Rick's. It's actually my grandfather. He's never played disc golf before, but he loves watching it, and he always texts me, calls me, and tells me that he's watching, and he's always keeping up on whether I'm playing well, playing bad. He's always got something to say, and kind of encourage me to just move on and continue giving him something to watch.
I'd say early on it would be my dad, but pretty quickly I started beating him. So then I'd say all the great players to have come before me and after me, because most of these guys are younger than I am. All of them, actually, barely. But yeah, so I think just players that are doing things that I can't do. So I can't really put one person, but just anyone who's throwing inspiring shots or having different skills, that's kind of what influences me and drives me to try new things and become a better player.
Yeah, I would say very similar to Paul and Ricky. My mom, I can't say too much more about that. My mom, she's just been there for my whole life, obviously, and it just doesn't matter if I shoot 100 over or 100 under. I come home, or she calls me, or she does this, or, Nady, you played so good. Nady, you just did such a good job. I'm like, come on, Mom. I used to do that when I came home from basketball games, too. She goes, you did so good. I said, Mom, I sat on the bench the entire time. She said, no, but your warm-up was really good. You made all your layups. So thanks, Mom. I love you.
For me, I don't think it's any of my family members, really. I mean, they're going to love me and support me no matter what I do in life. So I think, honestly, and I don't know if this is influence, but I think it's everybody in this room. And just every fan that's ever shook my hand and told me, that's kind of what keeps me going. So I don't know if that is really influence, but it's definitely motivation. And like I said, my parents don't care what I do. So every one of you guys that, going out to Bourbon last night, and you guys are shaking my hand and wanting me bringing discs in there to sign them. And I mean, it's just, it's something I know all of us are so grateful for. And I never thought that I would be taking pictures inside of, my favorite deli in Emporia and, passing my billboard on the way here. So I think everybody here, thank you for buying my discs. Thank you guys for making discs and putting my name on it. I mean, yeah.
That was a great answer. I agree 100%.
That seems like a good spot to end. So we need to get ready for the opening.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you do me a huge favor, head out to iTunes or even on Stitcher and go rate and review our show. It would really help us out. Thank you so much.